All right, here's what we're going to do now. And as you might be able to tell, we both like to talk a little bit, so this could be a challenge. We're going to do a speed round where we're going to limit ourselves. We're going to limit ourselves to 1 minute per topic, and the focus is Week 8 winners. And let's start with the Commanders since we're already talking about them. They've got a trip to the Giants this weekend. The Giants are 2-6. The Commanders are 6-2. What do you want to see next from the Commanders? How do they follow up what they did on Sunday?
Oh, you can't. I mean, what do I want to see next from the Commanders? Just an ordinary win. An ordinary win where, you get other people involved, other offensive players involved because they focus more on McLaurin and Robinson, maybe get some other secondary players involved.
I think the challenge is when you have a huge emotional win like that, regrouping for the next game, especially when that game is against an overmatched opponent that you should win. There's a chance they're going to be a little flat. That's going to be the challenge for Dan Quinn and the coaching staff. Get those guys excited, get them ready to go, and get them not to take a Giants team coming off a short week lightly. All right, there's one.
I felt like I was on Family Feud there.
We have chair, big chair. All right,
Columbus.
Eagles next. Eagles, reset the clock. Do we get 3 extra seconds since we didn't use them all? Well, we've already burned through them. All right, what's your take on the Eagles as of right now after 3 straight wins?
They figured it out. You want to talk about reclaiming an identity? You saw what Jalen Hurts was doing on Sunday. Going back to the push-tush and throwing some deep balls to the wide receivers, they're back. I think they've reclaimed their offensive identity.
He told me their identity is crafted week to week because of all of the different weapons that they have. You can run, you can pass, you can do the tush-push. And the reality is they just have to keep winning. And as they quietly fatten their record up, they're now 5-2. What happens down the stretch? And the thing he told me after the game, a fool isn't a fool because he made a mistake. A fool is a fool because he refuses to learn from his mistakes. How much from what went wrong last year gets incorporated into keeping it from happening this year? All right, reset the clock. We're doing all right so far with this. Falcons, yeah. Kirk Cousins, 5-3, 8 touchdown passes against the Buccaneers. Can Kirk Cousins finish the job and take the Falcons to the NFC South Championship? He reunites with Mike Zimmer this weekend.
Yes, as long as he stays healthy. Look at that setup that he's got there in Atlanta. It's a perfect team. All the weapons that he has. He's got a head coach who believes in him. He's got a good offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson. And unfortunately for the Bucs, but fortunately for the Falcons, there's been some injuries for Tampa. Yeah, I think Atlanta is the clear favorite in that division. Clearly.
Mike Zimmer did an interview with one of the Minnesota newspapers before the season, and he just went off, complaining about this, complaining about that. Nothing's his fault. But the one guy he didn't complain about was Kirk Cousins because he knew what was coming week 9. Cousins and Zimmer. There is not a lot of love between those two guys. It should make for a great game. Last one, Cardinals, 4-4. Cardinals, your eyes do not deceive you. The Cardinals are 4-4 and in a 3-way tie for first place in the NFC West, Michael. Can they keep it up?
Yes, they can. Better than you think. They're the nice little hang around. They can take a punch team, but they're hard to knock out. Think about the last couple of weeks winning at the buzzer. They got a healthy Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison hasn't taken off like people expected, but he's still a pretty good receiver, especially if you look at what rookies have done historically. I like the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals as a playoff team, Mike.
I like what we've seen from Kyler Murray from the standpoint of we have seen growth, we have seen maturity. He is in year 6. He's not just this novelty, zoom, roadrunner, one club in the bag player. He's developing into a passer. He's developing into a leader. He's developing into a guy who makes the right decisions at the right time and delivers with his legs when he has to, with his arm when he has to. And here they are at 4-4. All right. We got through all of it without going over. I don't know what happens if we go over. Does the big hook come out? Remember that? I remember, the big hook, get you off the stage. Big giant
either
hook.
Apollo Apollo Theater, that was that one. And then what was the other show? The Gong Show? They did it on the Gong Show, or they just gong you?
They just used the gong. They just gonged you.
Yeah, that's it.
The Gong Show was awesome. The Gong Show was awesome. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.